Hey everybody, welcome to Crimson Angel Paranormal. Today I have a very different video to what you're used to. Today I'm going to be laying all out to share to all of you. Why, how, where, when, what exactly happened. Now, this is going to be a very long, deep explanation, story/explanation. I'm not really good at telling stories, but I'm going to give it my best shot. This video usually comes around about every time I decide to make a new channel, really. I have the story there for the people that want to see it. Now, before we get started, I want to address that it might be worth looking around in this room while I'm talking away. Obviously, we've got our Halloween decorations up still, which I thought would make for a great backdrop, rather than cramped up in that little room upstairs where I normally do my karaoke videos. So you might actually see maybe an orb around me or not. I don't know. There have been orbs captured in this room downstairs on random videos. I did a video of me playing on the drums down here with an electric drum kit, and I had a white orb whiz past my head, and that was during the day with no night vision on, so you can't blame that on dust. But I digress. This is a good enough setting as any. So Crimson Angel, what is Crimson Angel? Well, this is probably all going to take away some of the mystery of it. My good friend Aaron from Broken Capital, he recommended that I didn't do this, didn't lay it all out, but I thought, no, I will. I've done it before anyway. I keep no secrets on this channel. I want people to understand. It may sound a bit bad, but I want people to understand me. All my life I've been very misunderstood for many different reasons, and my brain is just simply not wired to work in this life, in the way everything's set up in society, the way people think, well, the way most people think. I'm not saying it's you know, but the way most normal people think. My brain does not work like that. That's why I say it's an explanation/story. So, yeah, it doesn't work quite like everybody else's brains, and because of that, I've been very misunderstood by a great many people. I was very badly bullied in school, as you can probably imagine. I mean, I wasn't just bullied, like, you know, getting a wedgie or being teased or, I don't know, whatever. I got beaten up. I got badly beaten up in school, like, as in nose broken numerous times. That kind of badly beaten up. And yet, my parents still didn't take me out of that school. So that's probably where a lot of my old, I guess you'd say, traumas come from. I am a sufferer of a few mental health issues. Depression, anxiety, they're the usual. I got dissociative disorder as well. But that does kind of help me along the way with a lot of things that I do on here, funny enough. Well, in a way, it kind of does. It's not just that. I've got a good imagination as well, so. But we'll get into the whys and all that, why I have that, with the story that I'm about to tell you. Now, this might be a bit jumbled up. You've got to be prepared. You've got to have a good attention span for this video, I'm afraid. So just to hear me rabbit on constantly. Alright, so I'm going to start from the earliest memory that I can recall to do with the paranormal, which would be when I was living with my stepfather and my mother. I must have been like, I don't know, maybe 11. You could call it paranormal. I was raised in a really crappy family. Like, it was really bad. My stepfather was a narcissistic prick. I'm not going to say any names, but if he sees this, I hope he takes it on board. He was nasty. His family was nasty. I'll say that, I'm not afraid to say it, I was sexually abused, yeah, by his brother. Yeah, I was when I was a kid. So it's safe to say it wasn't a very good environment, and it was probably a good environment for bad spirits/demons to manifest. And this is where this could come in. This is a bit of a dream sequence I'm about to talk to you about, first of all. But, before you worry about me, don't worry. I've got those mental health issues, but I'm over it. I can talk openly about it. It doesn't affect me, okay? About the sexual abuse and all that. I've just been through a lot. I need you guys to know that. There's everything ties into everything, so I can't really leave anything out. So yes, this dream. Okay, so I was in bed, obviously, that's where you dream. And I started dreaming, and it was in a back garden, in our back garden. We had quite a big back garden in that place. It was really nice. The garden was nice anyway. The inside not so much. It was very dirty, very, very horrible environment for a kid to grow up in. But my mum and my stepfather didn't care, basically. So yeah, the garden was nice. In this dream, I was out there. So I don't know how I can explain this. The garden had like a patio area. You go out from the back door into this patio area. And it was all cement. And then there was a wall there. And then there's some stairs again that go up onto the grassy area. Now on this grassy area, it would go up again onto a little bank that had the cement walling again. That sort of like was at an angle, and then it went into a fence that blocked off the back garden from a massive, huge field behind our house. And in the dream, I was out there playing, doing what a kid does. Setting fire to cars, probably. But no, seriously though, so my humour's trying to seep through with all this. It's quite dark stuff, so I'm not surprised that it's trying to. And I was out there, and all of a sudden, over the fence, right at the back of the garden, this big ghostly demonic head, I think it was white. I can hear stuff happening. It was white, and it had like floating hands. I'm pretty sure, right then I didn't play many games, so I don't know whether it had much to do with that or not, but it had white hands, claw-like hands, and it went over and it wanted to eat me basically. This thing wanted to try and grab me from up my back garden when it went over the fence. It was huge, I'm not kidding you, it was big as the house, and it was just floating towards me. So obviously in my dream I ran back down into my house, and I hid in the stairwell, I think, in the house. And the next thing I know, this thing tears off the roof of the house with one of its floating hands, grabs me, and eats me. And I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to die in a dream, especially if you're a child. And I'm pretty sure I died in that dream. Now, I don't know if it was this exact dream or not, but someone, either my stepdad or my real dad might have been there, or someone anyway, heard me screaming. I woke up and I was still screaming. I was screaming at the wall. And I think that was the start of something evil, or just something paranormal, trying to mess with me, or trying to establish a connection with me. The way I can interpret it is Lucifer wanted me, or the devil, or whoever, or Satan, or whatever you want to call him. And because I had a really crappy upbringing, a lot of negative energy around, you obviously found a gateway to get to their firstborn child, which was me. That's how I've interpreted it. So I've always had the devil after me, so to speak. Yeah, I think I definitely have since I was a kid. Let's have some water. I'm going to be doing a lot of talking. So that linked me in with paranormal. Ever since that time, everything paranormal has gravitated towards me. Everything. Weird people, seeing spirits, seeing demons, believing I was a demon, believing I was a vampire, believing all this weird, dark stuff coming into my life. You know, and attracting these weird, dark people and entities. So, what was the next thing I can remember? Well, paranormal-wise, I remember seeing shadows in that same room. I think I remember something that resembled tentacles, black tentacles drooping from like the corner of the room in our bedroom. I remember that quite clearly. Yeah. I think that was most of what happened in that house. Anyway, it just felt bad in that house anyway, as well. All horrible stuff happened, as I said. So eventually, anyway, because it was so crappy, I ended up moving. I went to go live with my real dad and my stepmom. Best thing I ever did in my entire life. My stepmother looked after me so well. She taught me hygiene. This was when I was 13. No, 12. No, this was when I was 12. I decided I had enough and I wanted to go and live with them. I wanted to be with my stepmother, my dad, and my grandmother on that side. So I lived with my stepmother and my real dad at that point. Obviously, my stepfather didn't like that very much, but he didn't really have much of a choice. He was an abusive bastard anyway. So, I moved, and nothing really happened for a long while. We lived in a town called Peacehaven at first, in a small flat. Yeah, not really much paranormal happened in that flat. But, excuse me, I'll tell you what did happen in Peacehaven. When I was living there, I ended up meeting a few new friends who I thought were amazing at the time. I had my best mate Greg. He was the first friend I made in Peacehaven when I was a kid. I think I must be about 13, 14 now in the story. And we got on well. We enjoyed doing gaming, bonding over music, being absolutely ridiculously stupid out and about the town, like copying Jackass basically. Because Jackass was quite big back then at that point. It was just coming out. And we wanted to do goofy stuff and try and break our own bones from it, I guess. Obviously that wasn't the goal, but you get where I'm coming from. And through that, I ended up meeting, you know what, just to clear this up, this person has changed their sex and their name, so I'm going to say their original name, their dead name. So no one will know who I'm talking about, apart from those very, very close to me that used to be close to me, that may know what I'm talking about. His name was David as well, and we happened to meet at the local park in a place called Talskin Cliffs, and it's in East Sussex. And me and Greg went up there, and these two, it was someone else and David. I have to say the name because we were both David. That's weird enough, right? That we became best friends for a long while. And they just so happened to be doing jackassy type stunts as well. They even had a camera, and we just filmed ourselves doing ridiculous stuff, and we bonded over that, and everything was great. I made friends with David, and we were hanging out quite a lot, very, very much so, for a long, long while. I can't remember exactly, but I think me and my old mate Greg had a paranormal experience as well. Yeah, we're both hanging out at that park really late at night at one point. I don't know if this is before the event I'm leading up to or after. It's all quite hazy. I'm 33 now. I've had a drink since then. But yeah, it's like Greg didn't really believe in that stuff either, honestly. Oh, I'm saying names, screw it. The other person that David was hanging out with was called Steve, or Stevie. I'm not saying last names, so don't get angry. No one is going to know who I'm talking about unless they know you in person, okay, dude? So yeah. So me and Greg, there was a park. There's a park area. Behind the park area, there's a big field and a gravel path that goes down through some trees and then back out into another big field. And one night we were sort of trying to spook each other by pretending that there was ghosts and stuff around, because for some reason that sort of energy was always around me. And we went right back on the back and down this gravel path, down the field, through the trees. And just as we were going down, I'm not kidding you, we saw a big oval shape come out of the trees, glowing. Just imagine a spirit orb glowing out the trees. It stopped in front of us as to like it was looking at us, and then went off field, gravel path, bushes. Out of the bushes, onto the gravel path, looked at us, and then drifted back across the field and dissipated. Me and Greg both saw that at the same time. We both stopped and we were stunned. So that was one of the first instances that started happening that I saw, and that Greg saw too. I don't know what it was. I mean, I'm guessing it was some sort of spirit. That park has always had really weird energies about it. Yeah, that was one of the first official experiences I had in Tarscoon. I don't think that actually happened. Oh god, when did that happen? I think this happened after what I'm about to tell you, because at one point, me and my stepfather and me and my dad, my real dad, and my stepmother moved to a place called New Haven. I think this happened before what I just said. I told you the stories aren't going to be completely in line with the timelines, in the right timeline. They're in order, but yeah. So basically, we moved. I think I must have been 12 or 13. Yeah, around this time I must have been. Well, very much moved to a place called New Haven, and it's rich. It has a rich history of World War II. It's a coastal town, and it has a fort called New Haven Fort. It was used heavily in World War II, keep away the Germans and all that. And we moved there into this old Victorian house that was been there since Victorian times, and we lived there. Of course, we moved there, and weird things started happening there. Yeah, this is before I can make sense of it. Yeah, so the story I just told you with Greg was after this, when we moved back to Peacehaven. Yeah, that makes sense now. So what happened here is one night. It's happened. There's 3 different instances that happened at this place. So one of the nights they first started, I was laying there in bed, looking up at the ceiling, trying to drift off, when all of a sudden I saw 3 lights going above me, around each other, circling, just constantly moving. I had no idea what it was. I was frozen in my bed. And they just wouldn't stop moving. They wouldn't stop moving. And eventually I sort of got used to it, I suppose. As used to it as you can get. And I just turned around and put my head down, put the cover over my head, and tried to go to sleep. And I did go to sleep. So that was one of the weird things that happened. The second weird thing that happened there was we had something that we called the drip. And this is the first thing that my dad saw, actually, in this house. You would go up the stairs, and then there's a room here. The stairs coming up here. There's a room, and you go around, and then there's 2 more stairs that leads just up to the other 2 bedrooms. But this room here, above the stairs, the door frame had a little white drip that came from the door on the door frame, or above the door frame, or something like that. And we tried to figure out what this was, because it wasn't leaving anything wet. There was nothing wet, no residue on the door frame, nowhere where it landed, and there was nothing in the loft, or the attic, as the Americans would call it. Nothing, no water, nothing at all. And it would just drip. That's it. It was just a ghostly drip. We assume it was ghostly. It was white. And they would just do it every so often. When we walk up the stairs, we'd just see this drip. No idea what that could be. Although right now, just as I said that, I have an idea of what it could be. Ectoplasm. It could be ectoplasm. And finally, the big finale of everything that happened there before we moved out. Again, I was laying in bed. My bed's here. My window is here. That looks out to the back. Square room. Yeah. I'm in bed. My eyes are closed. But for some reason I get this massive urge just to open my eyes and look to a certain area of my room, which would be next or right in front of the window. and I'm not kidding you, I see, as clearly as I see the camera now, and as you see me now, he's a bit ghostly, he's white, a fully fledged, fully outfitted World War II soldier, standing right in my room, looking directly at me. I could see his gun, I could see his backpack, I could see the pants hanging off his backpack, boots, hat, everything. Now back then, I didn't care about school, I didn't know nothing about history, there's no way that I could have imagined that. There is no way, I'm pretty sure. And he was there, and I screamed, there's someone in my room. My dad came upstairs, he obviously, he turned the light on, looked, no one was there. I came back out, he had another look, nothing there. And that was the most, that was the first full body apparition I've ever seen. And I think the only full body apparition I've ever seen, at least of a human spirit anyway. So that was what happened in New Haven. Then after that, we moved back, and then of course I met Greg. Yeah, I met Greg, and that ghostly thing came out the bushes. And then after that, well, at some point anyway, we ended up meeting David and Steve. So, yes, where I left off with that, David. So, we became really good friends. We were like that, like so close, or at least I thought we were. To the point where, one day, here comes the vampire stuff. It started. So one day, I went round his house as normal. I sat down, we were listening to some music, we sang to some Bullet for My Valentine, and next thing I know, he just disappears, goes into the toilet that's attached to the room there, quite a big house. It was cool, it was a nice house. So he had an ensuite in his little gaming lair. So he went in there, and he comes back out again about 10 minutes later. So he didn't just go for a piss, did he? And his arm's bleeding. He cut himself. He cut himself with a blade or something. And I was like, well, what did you do that for? How did you do that? I didn't assume he did it. I was like, how did you do that? And he's like, oh, don't panic, Dave, don't panic. Referring to me. He was like, I sensed something a bit different about you. And obviously we've been friends for quite a while, so he obviously trusts me a lot to let me in on a little secret that he had. Yeah, so he says he trusts me, and he wants me to let me in on a little secret. And I'm like, well, what sort of secret could that be, you know? Like thinking in my head, like, what's he doing? And he says, let me try that again. There is something different about you. And I ask, how? And he goes, I want you to drink this. And guess what? I only bloody went and drank his fucking blood. Yeah. So, why would I do that? See, this is where I go into more explanations rather than just story. So, I have briefly touched on that I was bullied in school. I wasn't very popular. Literally no one wanted anything to do with me. No one. I was very much rejected. Wasn't popular in the least. And all of that just made me not care about school, and I didn't do very well at school. And you can imagine. Didn't pay attention, always got in trouble. It was just, pretty damn terrible. So, I wanted to fit in, of course. I wanted someone to fit in somewhere and finally have a real good friend group and all that. So I was willing to do whatever it takes to have that. Even to drink this guy's blood. I trusted him. I trusted him wholeheartedly. On every word he said, I would just, oh yeah, give me those words. Tell me what I want to hear. You know, oh, it tastes so good, that approval. It tastes so good. So I was willing to believe and go with anything this man said. David said, anything. So, back to me drinking the blood. Yeah, so I just latched onto his arm and hey presto. And obviously this led on to him convincing me I was a vampire. And getting me addicted to blood, which you can get addicted to blood. Doesn't mean you're a vampire though. Doesn't mean you're anything like that. It just means you're an addict. It's just an addiction thing. If you have it enough, as with anything, chocolate, whatever. And if you believe you're a vampire and believe that you need blood to survive, that addiction can come on very, very easily. Very easily. Because you want it as often as you can. Because you think you're going to die or have lack of energy, you know. So yeah. So I did that. And this goes on for a few months. Like every so often he would give me some blood and you know, he would say that he was a vampire as well. And eventually he would want me to give him my blood. And so obviously, like, no hesitation. He's done so much for me. He's kept me alive. He's kept me feeling great. He's convinced me I'm this blood-sucking superior being to everybody else. I'm feeling powerful, you know. When I was with him, I really did feel that. So yeah, he eventually wanted me to start doing it to him, and it just started this thing where I'll give him some blood, he'll give me some blood, and we were just feeding off each other, and that's not very healthy at all. Not in the least. That went on for quite some time. And then, until one day, it actually got even worse, believe it or not. But thankfully this part wasn't to do with blood. This part came from him being absolutely obsessed with a video game, which you all might be familiar with, I talk about it a lot. Devil May Cry. That's right, he loved Devil May Cry. And like I want to be like Dante, I think he wanted to be like Dante's brother, Virgil. Very much so. And so this was how I got into Devil May Cry, the video game, through him. He showed me it a good few times during all this going on. So we're still hanging out as normal. We weren't feeding on each other constantly. We were still having normal hangout times with other people and whatever, playing Guitar Hero and all this stuff, and it was nice. Aside from, well, even at that time, I thought the blood drinking was good, you know. Not anymore, of course. A lot of crazy shit happened with that since then. We'll get to that. So yeah, he obviously wanted to hunt demons. That's right. He wanted to hunt demons just like they do in Devil May Cry. Now, I don't see a problem with that. I like a good imagination as good as anybody. And as you all know, I've focused my channel a bit on that, on the game. You know, it's not bad. It's fine, as I've used that as a bit of a inspiration for the channel with the editing and all that, and my look, Crimson Angel's look, should I say? So yeah, he wanted to do that. So how did he go about doing that, and how did he bring me into it? Well, obviously, well, it's not really obvious, but we thought we could swap energies. I think it started off as, where we would touch each other on the shoulder and really, really focus and try and visualize that we were giving energy to each other. You know, I would give energy to him, he would give energy to me. You know, I don't know whether this was just imagination or what, but we would feel a tingle throughout our bodies. You know, I believe in energy, so I believe that could have been possible in some way or another. So I believe in that. But so it's kind of getting more spiritual, I guess, in a way. I mean, if you want to hunt demons down, I suppose it's good to be able to work with energy, I suppose. So yeah, we sort of was doing that. I must have been about 15 here. Yeah, this is skipping forward a little bit. 15, 16, I think, yeah. 15 probably. And so we'll do that and we'll start boosting each other up and by doing that. And eventually, he would take me out and we went to, this is just in the local park where me and Greg saw that ghost actually. We went there. And he was trying to show me how to basically hunt demons in a way, trying to show me how to see them. Now, he claimed to have an ability to see these beings. Like, he would see something, like maybe shadows in the dark or whatever, I don't know. And he wanted to try and teach me how to do it. And I think that's where that energy swapping thing came in. And I think one of the ways that he did that was through the blood thing as well. Because he thought that if I had his blood, then I would gain some of his abilities to be able to see these things. So with a lot of that, and a lot of talking me into it, power of suggestion, there you go. With a lot of power of suggestion, he manipulated me into believing I could see these things as well. And I thought I could see the shadows in the dark, or the fuzzy mist of energy around in fields and cemeteries or whatever. And I started to be able to see these things too. And from then on, we started training with sticks or whatever we could find, because obviously we were younger, we couldn't buy swords or knew how we could buy training swords. So we just, I don't know, we picked up like fence posts and stuff out of the wooded areas we were at, and we used that to practice sword fighting with each other. And I can't believe I never clicked this back then. He wanted to be like Virgil from Devil May Cry. And he wanted me to be Dante, I guess, in some way or another. Not in so many words, because he never said that, but I'm pretty sure he wanted at least a demon hunting partner. Now, I don't know if he actually believed it, or if it was all just a lie to manipulate me into something or not. But all I do know is I did really see these things. Or at least I thought I did anyway. So at one point I had the ability to see. Whether it was down to him or just me, I'm not entirely sure. I don't even know what to make of it anymore. Like, we would go out and we would obviously hack at these things with whatever we found we could use as weapons. We thought we could use because of the energy transfer thing came in handy with this. Visualization. Visualizing we're banishing the demons with our energy. And you know what? It worked. Were they demons? I don't know. Were they spirits? I don't know. Were they anything? I don't know. I'm still confused about it to this day. There's a lot of weird unanswered questions that I would like to know from him one day, but I don't think that's going to happen. A lot has happened since then. So yeah, we thought we could do that. It's pretty wild. Like, I was if it was all true, we really were like Dante and Virgil in some ways. You know, I didn't quite have the personality down back then for it, but we were close. It was about as close to it as early as mid-teens can be in reality, I guess. So yeah, that became a whole saga, and we did that for a very long time. And after a while, me and him fell out. Well, we fell out a good few times, but I'll tell you what, we fell out for this reason. This is a link to the story. What happened? Well, it's simple. He just started denying the whole thing. He started denying the whole vampire thing. He started denying the demon hunting thing, the energy thing, everything. And he sailed me upriver with it. What did he leave me with? A bit of a messed up head. I could still see these things for a while, and I was left with a blood craving. Now, the blood craving did stay with me for a very long time, but thankfully, eventually, I did manage to curb it for a good while. We were still friends for. This happened like when he was like 19. Yeah, when I was 19. Yeah, we fell out like that when I was 19. He started denying the whole thing. I think we did stop giving each other blood that often. Anyway, we still did it every so often until he started denying it. And then we obviously were not friends anymore, and because he started denying the whole thing, he didn't want anything to do with me. He kicked me out of a band we were in. which was called Seed of Gug. Don't know if anyone's ever heard of it. I doubt it very much. But didn't give me a chance. Convinced everyone in the band to kick me out too. And that was the start of me realizing, oh shit, this guy's just been manipulating me and taking me for a ride. Obviously I was not useful to him anymore. Yeah, you know, you don't go for all that and not love someone. I was definitely in love with him. Was it gay? Was it in a gay way? No, I don't know. I don't think it was. Though he tried to convince me it was, because he was bisexual and or gay. I think he's gay now. A few things happened with that. I won't go into detail, of course, but it's not very good memories. A lot of it could borderline on sexual abuse as well. So we won't go into that. A lot of dark stuff happened with him, not just what I've said, paranormal wise. So yeah, that was the whole saga. We stopped talking. So I was left with a really, really bad blood craving when he just left me to it. It was so bad that it even crossed my mind to go after my neighbour's cat. Obviously I didn't. Before you panic, I didn't. I went, I saw the cat, I didn't do nothing to it. I didn't have it in my heart to do it. I wasn't that messed up, thankfully. I was messed up, don't get me wrong, I was really messed up, but I wasn't that messed up. That's what this sort of stuff can do to you. You know, it's absolutely insanity. It's insanity. Yeah. Horrible stuff. Horrible stuff. And then, well, I started trying to go out and hunt these demons myself. Wait a minute. Oh, I haven't even told you what even happened when we went out and did that. Now, so I told you we saw the odd maybe shadow in the distance or hazy mist figures in the distance, in the shadows, in the dark. That was all nothing, really. That was probably all just in our heads, to be fair. But I'll tell you one thing that was not in our heads. And this is what leads me to the next paranormal thing that happened that I believe was genuine. This was my first encounter with a real demon. Something that saw what we were doing and probably felt like we were taking the piss out of it. So this was in a place called the Oval in Peacehaven, in the centre of Peacehaven. It's a park. And one of these nights, we went there doing our demon hunting thing, and we went right into the bushes, like really deep, and we found an altar, a thing that looked like an altar. It looked like some witches or something had put it, or someone had put it there. And guess what we did as stupid fucking teenagers? Yep, you're right, we destroyed it. We destroyed it, didn't think anything of it. And so yeah, we thought, just get rid of it. We'll be okay, it'll be okay, we're doing the right thing. I have no idea if this is linked, what I'm about to tell you, but I mean, we destroyed an altar in there. It might have even been trying to protect the place rather than summon something evil. Because the next time we went there, we ran into something genuinely evil. And I had even got spirit box proof that something evil was there. So we were doing our thing, we went deeper into the bushes again, and there was a path with overarching trees, and there's a tree trunk here, and we were standing here, and I'm not kidding you, there was a shadow behind the tree, grabbing it, like this, peeking from behind the tree with red glowing eyes, claw-like fingers, and yes, it had something that resembled horns on its head, just staring us down. This was no like in your head thing. This was actually there, and I could feel this. I was not going to go attack this thing with a stick, I'll tell you that much, and nor was he. Like, we froze. Like, it was so cold, we could not move. It was absolutely crazy, and after a while we did manage to break free, and we did leg it. We legged it. What great demon hunters we were, huh? Years later, when I became a ghost hunter, I went back there, as I say, with my my spirit box, ghost box. Did an investigation there. I cannot believe the spirit box went absolutely mental. It was literally like it tapped into hell itself. Like it was sounding demonic. I can't even. I wish someone had that clip somewhere. It's a shame because I've removed my past channels and past videos a few times and I've lost all that old evidence. And what I did find in a spirit box session, it was indeed Beelzebub, the Lord of Flies, that we actually ran into, or at least that's what it said it was anyway, because I was asking about it, like what did we see, and it said Beelzebub through the spirit box, clear as day. I think Love Not Unknown Paranormal Investigators has the clip of that somewhere. I think he does. So that was the scariest thing I've ever come across. That proper sighting and my spirit box going haywire was pretty scary. Because when it did it, it wasn't just the noise, it was the energy it was emitting. Like there was really bad energy coming out of the box. Like you could feel it pushing you down, making you feel small. I said a prayer then and I licked it. That was years and years later, way after this. So I went to find out what it was. So yeah, I saw that demon during this demon hunting thing. All the blood stuff. Absolutely wild, I can tell you. And that's not where it ends, because it gets more wild. So yeah, after all that stuff happened and me and David fell out, I was left to it and the cat thing happened. And I eventually came to the conclusion that I was not a vampire. There's no way that I was a vampire, and David was just manipulating me, and it was all absolute arse, absolute manipulation and bullshit. And I still could see things in the dark, so I was still going out looking for them. But eventually that phased out too, and I ended up getting into partying. Yeah, I got into partying, going out for drinks and all that, as you do in your late teens when you're an 18-year-old. You start doing all that. Well, actually, I didn't start doing that till much later. Yeah, it's like I think a lot of this stuff happened between 15 to 21, 22. Yeah, 22. 15 to 22. That's quite a long time to know someone. You know, all this stuff has happened. You can just put it all where in that sort of time frame if you want. So yeah, and eventually I stopped going out trying to do it on my own. And then eventually I came into some money. Yeah. I think I got about $2,000 that was supposed to be spent on college, and I guess it was not spent on college. And so I started going out to rock nights in town in Brighton, and it was great. You know, there's a place called Belushi's Below, and they had a rock night on. I forgot what it was called, but it was like all the goths and metalheads were all there, and it was great. And the first few times I went, it was brilliant. And then again, where I've said I swear I've got the devil on my shoulder. All this dark stuff starts coming back into my life again. Yeah. So, because this is still fresh in a way, I'm not going to say this person's name. I don't know why, I don't respect him at all. This is still an ongoing issue with them in some way or another. I don't know where this person is, what they're doing, but they're in a lot of trouble with the police, law, and people's families for what they've done. What I'm about to explain, and just for the record, I've got no problem with anyone that identifies as a sanguinarian. Okay? That's your choice. That's what you identify as. That's what you do. A lot of you haven't hurt me or anything, or done me any wrong. It's just this one guy, and if you're watching this, you know who that is. So yeah, let's get that out of the way. So I was at this club, obviously till very, very late, and started at 11, finished about 3, like 10 till 3, yeah. And this guy was there, and obviously I was just doing my own thing, dancing, moshing to the music. And I sat down just to chill. I was a bit sweaty, a bit warm down there, so I just sat down to enjoy my drink. And this guy comes up to me, tall, quite pale, had a trench coat on, had long nails, had shortish hair. He looked kind of, did he have a trench coat on, or was it his punk look? I think it was more of a punk look, actually. No, it was more of a punky look this time, yeah, back then. You know, shorter, shaggy hair. And he offers to buy me a drink. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, thank you, mate. I appreciate that. I've not really made any friends here. And he's like, okay, what are you having? And I was like, okay, I'll have a Jack Daniels double. And he's like, okay. He went and got me that. Sat down opposite end of the table with me. And I can't remember exactly what he said. It's weird, I can remember longer ago, but I can't remember then as well. I guess I tried to block it out of my memory. And well, it was along the lines of what happened with David, basically. I sense this about you, you know, you're like me. He said something like, you're like me. I sensed you, I've been watching you for a while. That's what he said. The last few times I was there. And he's apparently studied my movements and how I work. So what happens next is gonna blow your minds, right? It's gonna blow your minds. He gets out a hip flask, you know, regular hip flask, when you put your whiskey in or whatever. Goes over my whiskey and pours something into my whiskey. And I'm pretty sure you can guess what it was. Yep, that's right. It was human blood. Into my drink. Now I'm thinking, what the fuck? I just got over this crap. How can this guy know that I was like that once? There's no way. He doesn't have any connection to David. None at all. Right? So he's poured this into my drink. And he's like, you need this, don't you? You've been needing this for a very long time. And I'm like, again, I am gobsmacked. I didn't really need validation as such. Well, you know what, maybe I still, no, scratch that. I still did. So I was there with him, and he says, you haven't had this in a while, have you? Or something like that. And he tries to coax me into drinking it, and he says, and obviously I thought I had suppressed all those cravings, but obviously I hadn't fully, and I neck it. And that was the first proper bit of human blood, well, air quote, it really was human blood, from a donor, that I had ever had in my life. Because David was something called a sanguinarian. And in their mind, in their logic, I guess, the thing is, I've experienced this, you know, they exist, you know, it's a thing. And there must be some sort of defect in their DNA or something, I don't know. They've done a lot of research into it. I respect them for it, that's fine. A lot of people obviously think they're weird. You're definitely going to think I'm weirder after this video, that's for sure. So yeah, so I say that because I felt different. I felt different after having that one, because with David, he was a sanguinarian, so his blood was not affecting me the same way as regular human blood would affect me. And so I did that, and I felt, well, I guess you could say amazing. I want to keep clarifying that I don't do this anymore, and I don't believe that I need it anymore. Just bear with me, okay? So yeah, so that was my downward spiral into that side of things. Now, I could not have imagined how dark and shady it could get, that side of life. I thought it would just be a bit of fun, you know, pretending to be lost boys and that. And it started off like that. Started off fine. He was all right. I liked him back then. You know, I thought he was a guy I could look up to, but after recent events, I've realised a lot of that was probably just a mask he was wearing and pretending to be something he wasn't. He's turned into an asshole now, completely manipulative, lying asshole that likes to take money off people. So yeah, you can imagine we're not friends anymore. Yeah, so I did that, and again we hung out for a while. He would on occasion bring human blood in to share with me when we would go to Belushi's Below for the next few months. And yeah, I'm not going to mention any of the others. I think that's all I need to mention when it comes to that. Yeah, I'm not going to go into detail with the rest of it because I don't think I should. All I'm going to say is sanguinarians exist, at least they identify as sanguinarians, and they are not, how do you explain it? They're just regular people that crave blood, that believe they need it for health reasons, but they don't. I don't think they do. Do what you want. You know, if you believe you need it for health reasons, then fine. Whatever it did to me, so what? I got a little high off of it. You know, you can get a little high off of anything, especially if you're manipulated enough, like I was. I've broken out of all that now. We stopped being friends. Loads of other crazy stuff happened with that. But the point I'm making is this stuff has followed me. This stuff has followed me ever since that weird dream I had as a child. All this dark stuff has followed me everywhere I went. So yeah, it's madness. It is madness. There's no other way of saying it, you know. And this is what's led me into doing my paranormal stuff now. I want answers. I want to know if I really did see these demons, or if I have any somewhat special power, or if I'm special in any way whatsoever as to why this happened to me, you know. And I think I've found a lot of these answers before through the spirit box and my investigations. Now I'm just trying to find out the truth of what's out there and what else could be out there, you know, with the investigations I do. Like, is there, like can I capture a spirit or demon or whatever on camera? You know, it could be anything out there now. After what I've experienced, anything's possible. Absolutely anything is possible. Wow, this is quite a video, isn't it? Aside from the main culprits, I'm trying to keep it as respectful as possible. And so, I've only hold a grudge between David and this mystery man. I'm not going to announce it publicly on YouTube, but I've mentioned it on Facebook a couple times. But yeah, it's absolutely mad. I'm amazed I didn't get any sort of disease, you know. Sitting here, I'm just reeling from it again. I'm reliving it. Like, he didn't care about anyone. Not really. Didn't even care about his community. He was using them to get what he wanted as well. So yeah, this is why I'm saying it's got nothing to do with the community. It's all to do with him. Okay. He's led me to believe that other people are watching, so I'm just clarifying that I have no problem with you guys. Okay. This is not an exposure video. This is me talking about my experiences. I even kept his name a secret. And the past experiences with David, that was a long, long time ago, and the person's changed their name now too, and their sex, so no one can track that person down anyway. So, where does this leave me right now? Well, I still want to be like Dante, that's for sure. I still want to do Devil May Cry theme stuff. I'm currently doing martial arts now, with weapons and weapons and karate. I'm going out there, you know, with my red jacket, just like Dante does in the games. I'm trying to bring what Dante does in Devil May Cry, which you don't know is he's a demon hunter. He goes around fighting demons with a big sword, you know, and he's got a rivalry with his brother called Virgil, who tries to get the demons. She summons the demons, and Dante goes after the demons, then goes after his brother, who just wants power and all this stuff, which sounds a lot like David at the time. Which explains why he loved Virgil so much at the time. Yeah, I mean, like, there's little bits I could explain here too. Like, at one point I thought I was possessed as well. It's funny, I met another person called David as well. Yeah, I forgot about him. And he convinced me that I had a demon in me called Buddy Columbus. Like a demon of Earth or something. And I swear I thought I could see some sort of outline of him in a mirror. And you could put this down as mental illness, because I'd say it was mental illness if someone told me about this. I've had that happen. That possession, or whatever you want to call it, has given me a lot of trouble, especially with girlfriends I had at the time. Convinced that you're possessed, or if you really are possessed, it's not good for a relationship, I'll tell you that much. That's probably why my ex thinks that I'm a bloody crazy narcissistic prick. Because of all that manipulation I went under many years ago. This is before I was going out clubbing, so that's years ago. Yeah, a lot of stuff has happened. So yeah, a lot of influence from Devil May Cry, a lot of influence from, well, all this stuff that's happened to me has just pushed me towards wanting to do the paranormal. And I'm trying to bring it, like Dante, into real life. I want to be like him, not fully looks wise, and I don't have silver hair or anything. I'm a more stocky build than he is. I'll never look skinny. I know I'll never look skinny, but I can look muscly, so I can do that. It's a shame most cosplay jackets don't fit me that well though, because I'm muscly. But that's okay. I've got the strength there, I'm quite happy with that. Yes, it's been a hard road. Real hard road for all of this. Not many people has done this, and does this explain why a lot of people struggle with me? Yeah, it probably does in a way. Maybe in a big way. I found confidence. I found that I like a bit of validation on social media. I guess that's just the way it goes this day and age anyway, but that helps me stop me being manipulated in one way or another, because I can get on with what I want to do, and I get support from people that want to support me. And yeah, that's fine. That's great. That keeps me out of trouble, I guess you could say. And because I want to keep pursuing the paranormal, there's a big community for that. So here I am. I guess you could say in a way I am paranormal myself, from all the weird stuff that's happened. If anyone wants to look into what's happened with me over the years, by all means go for it. I don't know if I am a sanguinarian or not. I haven't needed blood for a long time. Not needed at all. And they would convince you that if you don't have it, your body will fall apart. Well, my body hasn't fallen apart. In fact, my body is healthier than it's ever been. Also, stop doing all of that. Are the cravings still there? Yeah, little bits. But that's because it's ingrained, and I know I can ignore it without any problems. Should I say this to the world? Well, I'm used to being judged harshly for what I am or what I do, so I guess if you're going to judge me, I'll just block your ass, I suppose, on YouTube. But you're welcome to form an opinion of me, but that's all my past. I don't do that anymore. I'm relatively more normal than I used to be, which is, going by what I've said, is probably quite a bit. I'm just a martial artist, paranormal ghost hunter, pretty much now. And that's what I'm trying to do, and that's what I'm trying to accomplish. I'm trying to bring cosplay and real life ghost hunting into one with this channel, and that's what I'm doing. It's funny, because I tried to actually bring my paranormal channel into a Devil May Cry group the other day, and I got completely rejected. They would not have it. Like, I got called names, I got called crazy. I just have to let the niche audience come to me for this one, I think. I can't go looking for it. Most of the nerdy people are quite, unfortunately, when it comes to that sort of stuff and their cosplay and all that, they're quite closed-minded, which is unfortunate. I can't just say, here's me dressed as Dante, go and ghost hunting. They didn't understand it at all. Didn't even try to. I got called fat as well for trying to squeeze into that red jacket. Little do they know there's quite a lot of muscle under that jacket. But yeah, I'm running out of things to talk about here now. I think I've pretty much covered everything in such a short amount of time. This was originally going to be a video of me going over all of my new paranormal equipment, but I figured just sitting here telling a story by candlelight would have been just fine. So, well, if you enjoyed, don't forget to hit like, share and subscribe. Wow, I can't believe I actually said it in the YouTuber voice. Bloody hell. I guess I'm getting used to this whole YouTube thing now, huh? Again, I just want to clarify, I don't do this for the money at all. I'm not interested in making any money from what I'm doing. This is simply for the spirits and for me to pursue doing what I love and to keep me sane, keep me busy, keep me out of trouble. And it is working. The paranormal and martial arts are the two biggest things in my life right now. I went off gaming for a while as well. Yeah. It's funny, I could have done this as a live stream, but I think having less distractions from a chat works better. So yeah, make of this what you will. I'm pretty sure it makes a lot of sense as to why I'm doing what I'm doing. Yeah, alright, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Peace out. Oh, hey, I thought we were done. We were talking for like an hour. What's that? Oh, you want to know what Crimson Angel is? Oh, I must have left that out. Well, this is Crimson Angel. It's all in the jacket. This is a jacket that is a direct replica, apart from the sleeves being too long, of Dante's jacket from Devil May Cry 5. Now, Crimson Angel is a breed of me, a bit more exaggerated, crossed with Dante from Devil May Cry. As I said in the video earlier, he hunts demons with a sword. Can't do that in real life. I hunt ghosts and, I guess, demons if you ever really come up with them. If you ever find one, I suppose, it's extremely rare. With a spirit box, a camera, and prayer, and holy water in water crystal, which I haven't shown yet, actually. I'm just going to show you these right now. Well, one of them. Yeah. I like the shape because it looks like a real Glock, but it's not a real Glock. They're very powerful, they're electric. So my plan is to put some holy water in there and spray the demon to death, if that even works, or reciting a prayer. So that's a pretty cool idea, I think. So yeah, a lot of all of the stuff I've said, you know, a lot of it is in the past. I wouldn't worry too much about it now. I do have a bit of, as I say, I still have depression, anxiety, and a bit of dissociative disorder, but hey, you don't get out of hell without having a few scars, do you? So, I'm doing much better now, after all those stories, and Crimson Angel is here to stay. I am definitely not doing the paranormal the conventional way. I have learnt the paranormal from Glenn of North Nottingham Paranormal Investigations, Mortis the Wizard, Shannon, John Huntington, and Zara from Paranormal White Noise. Those four. They taught me how to do the paranormal the correct way, and now I'm doing it my way with their influence. Everything I do is 100% real. It always will be. I do it mainly for the spirits, and I'll never fake anything. There's no reason to. I don't want to make any money from it anyway. I don't want to. I am pretty far from wanting to make money from any of this. I just want to show the world what I can do and what is really out there and find the truth. So that's it. I thought I'd hold my jacket just to make a point. So, in the words of Dante from Devil May Cry, let's rock, baby.